Right, this is going to be interesting. This is my own marinade for chicken, and for the first time, well, I think I may have done it before, but I can't remember. Anyway, I'm going to spatchcock a small chicken, and I'm going to then marinate it, and I'm going to cook it in the Remoska, and I'm going to surround the room when I'm cooking it with the vegetables to be roasted, including I'm going to roast at the same time as the potatoes. I'm going to roast Brussels sprouts. Try and get it all in the one pot. It would work in an oven, I'm sure. Now, here's the ingredients to start with, because I need to make the marinade. Right, there is butter, which is softened. But in actual fact, what I've done is, I soften it. I cut it into chunks. I cut it into chunks and left it in the room. Although this has been at room temperature for quite a while, this butter. But for the cooking, it's just been there. There's a bit of crumb in it. I won't worry about that. From toast, that's one thing this morning. Right, now that's that recipe. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add the teaspoons of the marinade. Right, so the first thing is chili powder, teaspoon. Teaspoon minimum. You could add a bit more if you like it spicy, which I do, so I'll put half. That's the chili powder. Next we got salt, which I'll just do, which I'll put on the bird as well afterwards, but just for the marinade, I'll put a teaspoon of salt there, and a teaspoon of black pepper there. And now I'm going to take, this is ground cloves. Ground cloves, I'm going to put just half a teaspoon of ground cloves, like that. And I'm going to put half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, just there. Half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. That's in there, ground cinnamon. And then we come to the two other ingredients, which is ground coriander. 2 teaspoons of ground coriander. 1, 2. And then I need somewhere I'll put it. I'll have to find it. Can't find it at the moment. I need to find the ground cumin. That must be still in the cupboard then. Yeah, ground cumin, which is just 1 teaspoon of that. And then come the fresh ingredients, which are there. 2 to 3 chillies, garlic, 2 to 3 chillies, garlic, and coriander, fresh coriander, handful, all chopped into a lump, and they all go in. I'll get something which is a bit easier to get it out with. Yep, that. Right, that's all of it in there. Oh, that's a good start. Tidying up. Right, now I need to turn it all into a paste, which I'll do. You can either use your hands or you can use a fork. I'll just do that and I'll come back to you. Right, you need half a lemon zest, which needs a very fresh lemon. About half, and I've been using that tool, and I've taken what I think is about half and put it in there. I'm also going to need half a lemon juice, which I'm going to put in now. I think it's advisable to put it in at the end, the lemon juice, because otherwise it won't mix with the butter so well. So anyway, there we go. So that's in there now. and I'm now slowly getting it into a mix, which I think you must be able to see. It's amazing. Okay, that's nearly ready. Now I've turned the bird over and I've cut it down that one side. And now I'm going to cut it out on the other side, and I'm saving the bone. I'll show you when I start cooking. I've got another pot handy to do the stock. Oh, look at that. Perfect. Look at this. Perfect. You do need a scissors which you can do it. And listen, this pair I had didn't work.
No.
And also this one here, which is designed for it, I couldn't get that to work. But whether in fact that will work on something else, I don't know. But this green one works, or sort of. There we go. That's out. I'm going to put that in what will be the stock dish in a minute, but I'll have to keep it in the fridge, so I'll put it there for the moment. Right, that's the bird opened out. But what I've got to do now, I've got to take a knife and slash it down the middle. Turn it over. And now I've got to push it down flat, like so. Now that is a spatchcock chicken. Now there's the chicken. And what I want to do now is to free the skin. All the way around. Let's see where the legs are. Should be able to do it better from this side, maybe. Yeah, that's that one. That one. Right, so that's the skin lifted. And now what you've got to do, or what I've got to do, now take this there and very carefully insert it in blobs. First of all, one blob around the legs. Down there, smear it down. Another one. Here. On the legs. I'll turn it around like that now. And one round there. Smear it down so it gets spread round. Another teaspoon there. Another one in there.
That's
spread it round.
fast there.
Now that goes it like that. Now what I'm going to do is, with the rest of it, I'm just going to put blobs, because the butter will melt. On the outside. Blob on each leg. There. Little blob on the leg there, or the wings rather. That's it there. And the same thing there. It's more or less done. I've got more than enough here, but it'll be good on this spuds and things that are all around it. Right, that's done. Now I'm going to put that in the Remoska, which I'll show you in a minute, and then I'm going to do the rest. There's the chicken in the Tria, Remoska Tria. I had a couple of garlic pods which I just threw underneath it, which I had left over, and so now I'm going to put the vegetables around it, fit them as much as I can. I suspect, oh, I want to do this too. Let me put these on there. Now what I'm doing is, that I don't think you need to do this, but I'm doing it. I'm just giving it a light spray of oil, and the reason is that I think it'll help with the cooking. Right, and what I'm going to do is put it around it and see how we go. It looks pretty. And hopefully be all right. And I know you can cook these things in a normal pan like this. So I'm trying it in here. This is my first time of doing this. We'll see what it looks like. As long as it's cooked, I'll be happy. It's a one pot. This is the plan. A one pot. So there we are. Now what I'm going to do with the Remoska is I'm going to put the a silver topping on it, which is this, like so, for some of the cook, and then what I'll do is when I come to brown the chicken, I'll take it off and hopefully it'll all work. But it's all a trial thing. Now while I'm on this, that pot there is going to be the stock pot. So at the moment I've just threw a few chilli stalks in it because it happened to be handy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to throw in a bouquet garni. I'll throw in some celery. I'll throw in some carrots and some onions and cloves, and just leave it to simmer to make the stock. Yeah, and we'll sort of talk about that later. What I'll probably do is I'll wait for about 30 minutes. I've got the lid on now, it's switched on. It's starting from cold, but 30 minutes I'll have a look, see how it's looking. I reckon the whole chicken and everything will take about, in total, once you're at cooking temperature, about 40 minutes. The other good thing about putting the silver foil on is that it allows the butter to melt slowly around the chicken. So rather than, I think it's better like that. And then at some point it has to come off the browning. And we'll see what that looks like then. Okay. It's going to be fun to see how it turns out. Not carved particularly beautifully, but there's it on the plate. The roast vegetables are all right, look lovely, and then there's the carcass there. Now that's going to be used for. I'll take the breast off, and we'll have a salad tomorrow, and then the bones and what's left will go into the stock. That's the chicken breast for our salad tomorrow, and I'm now going to make the stock. There's a Remoska Tria. There's the remains of the chicken that we've had. The only thing that needs to be added now is I took the backbone out, you remember? That can go in there now. And now some materials for the stock. Let me show you. An onion cut up. Like that. Carrots, they're cleaned, they've been washed, I didn't peel them. Just put in chunks. And then there's celery. That goes in. And then what else goes in is a bouquet garni. And then a small sprinkling of peppers. Now, I'm not going to put any stock, any salt in that until I've tasted it later on, because it may have enough salt already in it. And normally they reckon 2 pints, so I'm going to put 2.5 pints in here of water, see how it goes. I'll switch that on now. That's 1 pint. Two pints. Just a half of it. That's it. And a half. And now I'm going to bring that up using the pressure lid, not the pressure lid, the normal cooking lid for the Tria. Put it on there. And I'll do that about an hour or so. Well, I've got to get it up to heat first because it's electric, and then once it's up to heat I'll turn it down and it'll be on the simmer then. Quickly then, we had the stock in here, that was in the Tria, and then we discounted it using the fine one into there. And then we put that back in there, and that's going to be, Corrie will go through that. She's great on picking out chicken meat. And then what she's done, she's taken out, because I put the lumps, the carrots and all that in lumps. I suppose you could puree them, but what Corrie's going to do is just sort of nibble them, because they've got no calories in them. So she just eat them, you know, with a fork.